Chances are, when you hear the word cancer, you probably think of someone like this. Someone who is tired, someone who is sick, and someone who is very weak. But what if I told you that cancer could look like this? I'd like to tell you about my friend Patty. Patty was a wife, she was a mom of 2, she was a small business owner, and then at the age of 49, Patty was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. She was given a 6% chance of surviving the year. In fact, her oncologist actually said to her, "We are just going to try and not let you die." Now, I think anyone facing a prognosis like that would easily fall into despair, but not Patty. You see, Patty didn't like the way cancer made her feel, and so she decided she didn't want to feel that way anymore. And so rather than focusing on all the things in her world that were spinning out of control, her cancer diagnosis, that it was so aggressive, that it would more than likely take her life, Patty decided to focus on all the things she could control. She could choose to exercise. Now, exercise might seem like the very last thing you'd want to do when you're facing a cancer diagnosis. I get it. In fact, for years, oncologists actually cautioned patients away from exercise because they were afraid that the increase in blood flow would cause cancer cells to spread throughout the body. But luckily, we've come a long way since then, and we now know that exercise helps to alleviate nearly every single negative side effect of cancer treatment. For example, 98% of patients experience fatigue. This fatigue is debilitating. It's a whole body fatigue, the kind where all you want to do is lie down and take a nap. And honestly, no one would blame you for that. In the summer of 2007, my grandfather was diagnosed with an aggressive form of cancer, and he experienced this kind of fatigue. Just a couple months earlier, he was able to walk 18 holes on the golf course. Now, suddenly, he didn't even have the energy to walk upstairs. So as you can imagine, this was very frustrating for him. Now, at the time of his diagnosis, I had been conducting research in the field of cancer and exercise for nearly 5 years. I had had the unique opportunity to study under Dr. Carol Schneider, who was a leading pioneer in this field. So I knew all about the science behind why exercise is beneficial in the life of someone battling cancer. This was my chance to see it play out in the life of somebody that I loved. And so I told my grandfather, every hour on the hour, we're going to take a walk. And I'd get him up out of bed, and he walked one lap around the downstairs of his house, and then he went back to bed. Now, to someone on the outside looking in, this would have looked like nothing. To my grandfather, this was everything. It was everything. It improved his mood. It boosted his energy. It gave him a sense of control back. It gave him hope. Hope in the darkest time of his life. And the benefits of exercise extend well beyond simply having more energy. Another very common side effect is cardiotoxicity. So basically, there's certain types of chemotherapy drugs that make the heart muscle weak and unable to pump as effectively as it should. So the irony here is you're taking a medicine that will help fight your cancer. But at the same time, this exact same medicine can cause heart failure. But research shows that exercise strengthens the heart. It almost makes it as if it was never even exposed to the chemotherapy in the first place. From a financial perspective, cancer is expensive. I once knew someone whose medicine just to manage her side effects cost her $100 a day. That is why medical bills are the number one cause of personal bankruptcy. But recent data is showing a cost savings associated with exercise and cancer. Patients are seeing fewer ER visits, a shorter length of hospital stay, and less 30-day readmits. This translates to cost savings not only for the patient, but also for the hospitals and insurance companies. So why is it then that nationally, less than 5% of patients are ever even referred to a cancer rehabilitation program? Despite the fact that there is more than 13,000 published articles on this very topic, most insurance companies still do not reimburse for these services. Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the fact is, 1 in every 2 men and 2 out of every 3 women have a lifetime risk of developing cancer. This basically means you or the person sitting next to you will get cancer at some point in your life. And when it happens to you or to someone that you love, exercise your way through your recovery. Your doctor might not tell you to do it. Your insurance company probably won't pay for it. And to be honest, there will be days that you just don't feel like it. But do it anyway. Do it anyway. There is too much at stake. Remember my friend Patty? Patty took control of her cancer diagnosis by adding exercise to her traditional treatment regimen. As a result, she fought her cancer into remission 2 separate times. She extended 4 years onto her life. A lot can happen in 4 years. Think of all the weddings, the trips, the births, the graduations, all things Patty would have missed out on had she not taken control of her cancer diagnosis through exercise. What would 4 years mean in your life? What items on your bucket list would be left unchecked? That is why I urge you to take control of your health. Take control of your life, for that matter, by adopting an exercise program. If all you're able to do to start is simply walk 1 lap around the downstairs of your house, well, start there and build from that. You alone have the power to take charge of your health. Thank you.